Hello, I am Dale of the Knit1.Tea2 podcast, and it is Wednesday, August 22nd, 2023, and I just want to say hello to everyone. Welcome back to those who have been following along and watching my episodes, and welcome to my channel to all of my new subscribers. I am very grateful for everyone who is here and everyone who watches my videos. So I always like to begin by saying it is still summer vacation. We don't go back to the 5th of September. So if I have to pause, my daughter is playing outside. She comes in and out, as needed. My dishwasher is going, which I think it was last time too, and I don't believe you can hear it, but if you can, that's going. You shouldn't be able to hear any laundry in the basement. I actually don't think there's any going right now. I have to switch it to the dryer. I was supposed to do that before I started. I'll do it after. What else? I live here in Rhode Island with my family. What else do I like to say in the beginning? I don't know. Sometimes I think that I should write it down, and other times I'm like, that's too scripted and too much for me. You can find me on Instagram as Knit1.Tea2. Ravelry, I have a link below. I honestly can't even remember what my username is. When I had decided to create Knit1.Tea2, the podcast, and then change my Instagram handle, I thought about changing my Ravelry, but then the thought of having two and getting confused, and then like trying to transfer everything over, I was like, never mind. I don't know if there's a way I didn't find a way to change my current username. If anyone knows and is more savvy with Ravelry than I am, please let me know in the comments, because I wouldn't mind changing my Ravelry to match my Knit1.Tea2. Ironically, I feel like since I started the podcast, maybe I had tea once while I was recording, but that's okay. I do have my water in a mason jar, and then in a mason jar cozy that my sister had made years ago, and I kind of, there's something on it, but I want to get her pattern if she still has it. I wonder if she does, so that I can make one, maybe like a fall one and one for Christmas. I don't know. Let's see. I think the lighting is okay today. Haven't seen it like flicker in and out, but I just use my overhead light. I don't have this one on today because I don't think I need it. It's pretty sunny out today, so, and I sit by two windows. You can obviously see that there. All right, I'm gonna get started now. 3 minutes already. I can ramble. You all know that. Okay, finished objects. So I actually have quite a few. I finally finished some socks. So I finished my pattern socks, and I have them on sock blockers, and I love them. I love them so much. I want to wear them so bad, but it is just not quite cold enough for that. So I used the Austin Socks pattern by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. Let me tell you, the second sock went a lot faster because I was so used to the pattern. It was a really easy pattern. And then of course the foot goes a lot quicker because this is just stockinette. But I do love it. So that is those. I love them. So I'm really excited to be able to wear those. The yarn was Hedgehog Fibers. Colorway was Ghost. Is it Hedgehog Fibers? I'm pretty sure it is. I've talked about it so many times. I feel like I kind of wanted to like go through them a little bit quicker, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I have, my video description is sectioned out into finished objects and then works in progress. That if you are interested in looking at what the yarn is specifically, if you haven't watched and been following along and can remember better than I can, that will be listed down below. I'm trying really hard to keep my Ravelry updated for myself too. So what is it about me recording that the chickens like? I don't know. It makes them lay an egg, I guess. My goodness. I'm sure you can hear that, but this is my life, people. The train, the chickens, my daughter, dishes. It is real life. Okay, so I talked about those. Hold on one moment. Okay. I just got a text that a package was delivered, so. All right, my second finished object is my summer sock camp, what I was calling my summer sock camp number 5. However, they turned into number 6, so I'm like, summer sock camp number 5 turned 6, because I finished the pattern socks actually before these, which I didn't think I would, but I finished these. I can't, like, I never really use pictures like that for my thumbnails. I usually just take a picture. But this is the vanilla sock pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady. 2x2 ribbing. 60 round leg, slip stitch, heel flap. Yeah, that's that. Knit Pick Stroll. Celery Seed is the colorway. Once again, it's listed on my Ravelry page. I finished these at the fair, the Washington County Fair, this past weekend. Actually, that is a lie. I believe I got to the toe at the fair, and then I finished them at home. So, yay. Actually, I have another pair of finished socks too. But these were the 2 adult socks that I finished. So I finally finished my baby socks. I used the Perfect Newborn Sock pattern. That's also linked below. And look at how cute! Oh my gosh. So this is Knit Pick Stroll. Mixed tape is the colorway. It only used, it's in this notebook. I've been trying to record like how many grams of yarn that things use because I too often play yarn chicken. So I'm just trying to like write it down. These only used 14 grams of yarn. And for this socks, oh my gosh. Just so cute. They look so tiny. They are tiny. It took me a while to knit them just because I was working on the other 2 socks. Finally decided that it was time to finish, and I knit the second sock in a day. So they are very quick. They're just so cute. Okay, so that's that. I plan to make some more baby socks, some with that pattern, some with a different pattern, using the Rye Light pattern by Tin Can Knits to kind of get a sense of like all the different sizes. So I probably will do like their baby is not like newborn necessarily, so I want to see how big that turns out, and then so on and so forth. So we'll see how that goes. Well, I'll keep you posted when I do those. I have cast on another pair, but I have 1 row done, so I wasn't even going to show that today. Okay, so next is, my fridge just made a weird noise and I thought it was a chicken. Okay, next I'm going to go show you my coasters that I knit. Oh wait, I should start with the dishcloths because I finished my tie-dye one and I washed it. This is all washed. The color stayed great. I must have done a pretty good job about rinsing the yarn before I worked with it, and I love it. I feel like the colors are just never good on camera. It is what it is, but I love it. This is for me, and I'm so excited, and as soon as I'm done, I'm gonna go put it in the kitchen and start using it. I love it. It makes me happy. I'm like, I dyed this. I dyed this yarn. I made this dishcloth. I'm so excited. So then I'm kind of going to skip around and show you the coaster because I made the coaster that matches, and I'm also excited. So this is not washed yet. I mean, I rinsed the yarn, and honestly, I just did all my kitchen laundry. So I think I tend to like group it together and just like wash all of my kitchen towels and stuff at once. And I'm just going to use this until I do another load. So I'm going to leave that right on my table here. Yay. Okay, I had 2 other coasters I made using the same pattern I always do. It's linked below. I can never remember exactly the name of it. Favorite dishcloth coaster and scrubber set. So I got a Halloween one and a Christmas one. I did half and half. So like this is the wrong side because you can see where the color change happened. Those, and then I finished the 2 dishcloths that I was working on. Knit Picks Dishy. This is coffee. I did the one with the holes. Sometimes I make them without the holes, but these ones I did holes. And this one is the, what is the peach one? I can't remember. But also, so with these in my Ravelry, you will see I have a project page for coasters that I've made in 2023. So not each coaster gets a project page. I just group it all together. It's a work in progress for the entire year, and then I post pictures of all the different ones. For the coasters, I do not write the yarn, but the dishcloths I've been trying to. So these are listed together, but I do have both of the colorways under the picture. I did like a caption because I was thinking that I could like add it into the yarn section. However, that might get confusing. So if I'm like, wait, which dishcloth was which color? So I'm just trying to write it on the caption of the picture. And then I'm making, so I'll just move, oh, actually, wait. I have one more finished object that I didn't even show you as a whip last time. I mean, it was, but sometimes the little things I just don't always share. I made a snowman. So this is my little snowman. And the pattern for him, hold on, I have the book. I know I've showed it, I think, in like the beginning podcast, but I have so many new folks that I thought my daughter was coming in. I have so many new subscribers, excuse me, that I figured I would show you because not everyone goes back to the very beginning and watches the beginning podcasts. So I used this book, Kids Knitting Workshop by Susan B. Anderson. I think it's still available on Amazon. Not sure. But there's a lot of awesome patterns in here. There's 17 projects. I love it. I've made quite a few things in here actually. What are they doing outside? I think they're playing on the bulkhead. I made this little owl, the owl for my sister and Liliana. I'm actually going to make her leg warmers from this book for Christmas. The snowman, of course, I've made a bunch of snowmen. I made her the tablet / journal pocket is what they call it for her journals because she loves her sketchbooks and her journals. I don't know that she usually keeps her journal even in there, but also I'm making these snowmen a little like all different. So I'm making up a bunch of them. This one I used size 5 needles. The last one I made I used size 8. So I'm just messing around with like the size of the needle, the size of the snowman, things like that. What did I do with my finished object basket though? And I'm just, once again, that is just like the coasters. I have a project page for all of them that I make for the year. Oh, I've made the little basket in here too. There's a hat pattern, a headband. So many good things in this book. There's like a stripy tube scarf. There's a cowl. I've made bracelets. There's just so many good things. And it's a good, oh, is this a little hat like for a doll? Or a baby? I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. This is the book. I think it's available on Amazon. I just said Anderson because that's her last name. But I'm not positive. I should look. If I think of it, maybe I will post a link below. I'll make a note of it. sometimes when I go to edit, I get distracted or I get tired, and then sometimes I think that maybe I should like record and edit on different days. But then once I record, I'm like, just get it edited and get it uploading, because last time YouTube took forever to upload it. Forever. So, all right. There's that. Those are my finished objects. Oh my gosh. Okay. One of these times too, I'm gonna take a picture of my little corner over here because it's very messy, and this is how it is. Like, some people say that, you know, it's hard when you're doing a podcast because you have everything out. Guys, this is just the way my corner is because I work on so many different things. Sometimes I'll do a row here on this project, a row here, a row here. Like, that's how I knit sometimes. Sometimes I'm more of a monogamous knitter and I work on one project, but most of the time I'm not. All right, hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. I feel like I kept hearing banging outside, so I was gonna make sure that they were okay. My daughter plays with the neighbors. They play all over. And then I decided to switch laundry because I figured I was already up, and if I didn't switch laundry, pregnancy brain is a real thing, and I would definitely forget. But of course now I'm out of breath because also pregnancy. Okay. This truck was like, I don't know. I also get distracted with things outside. Okay. So moving on to whips. I also want to note that, like, I have been knitting a lot. This past week we went to the fair and I worked on socks. And really we didn't do much this weekend. I think we watched a couple of shows. I watched a couple of movies. I've been just kind of not doing too much. And I use knitting as, like, if you start the dishwasher and get the sink all cleared out, then you can go sit and knit for a little bit and then knit a couple rows and then go switch laundry and things like that. So, like, I kind of use that as my incentive. So, let's see, where to start? I guess I'll go in order of what I wrote down. Now I feel like I'm kind of out of the groove now. Picking my nail because I just did my nails. And I'm not the best at it, but I have a gel nail light. And I just find it better than regular polish because it doesn't smell as bad. And it's done when it's, like, cured or whatever, and it's done. And I don't have to, like, wait. Anyways, that was total tangent. What am I starting with? My scrappy blanket. So I actually worked on my scrappy blanket the past 2 nights. I was working a little bit on this while we watched some TV. So this is where I'm at. The stitch marker here, the little leaf stitch marker that I made, is where I was last episode. Oh, there's a fly. And I'm loving it still. It's so fun. I didn't work on it for a long time. I didn't show it last episode because I hadn't worked on it. But I really like it. It's really long, so I can't get it all in one shot, but yeah. So that's fun. Like I said, this is going to be multiple years in the making. So we'll see. I mean, until I figure out what I'm going to do with some of my other bigger sets of yarn, I may run out of scraps here. So I moved my marker up so that way next time I work on it, I'll be able to share my progress and where I was last time. Like I said, I don't always share it because if I don't work on it, I'm not going to share it. Still a whip, but it's a long-term whip, so. Alright, so I shared that and I moved my marker. I make notes to move my marker so I don't forget to do that either. Next, I'll talk about my dishcloths and scrubbies. I don't have any coasters going at the moment. I will talk about scrubbies first. So I decided to, instead of doing the pattern like it called for, I just cast on, I'm doing 2 at a time, cast on 20 stitches with this Scrubology from Hobby Lobby yarn, blue and silver. I think I said this last time, but like I love them. I loved using them. I washed one up. I used it. It was fabulous. I am ready to go buy yarn in every color and just knit up a bunch. But like I said, I feel like it's coming out a little tighter than when I was doing the actual pattern. So we'll see. I'm just straight knitting. I don't know how many rows I'll knit, but I'll just knit until it's about the same size as the other ones. I'm wondering now that I mentioned that if maybe I should go down a needle size. See how it's like, I think it's just the yarn. It's actually not really coming through in the video, but it's a little holy, I feel like. And it might just be the yarn, but maybe I should go down needle size. I haven't worked on this a lot because I mentioned last time too that these needles kept like hitting my stomach and they were bothering me. So what I did when I cast on 2 new dishcloths, Christmassy one, I will find the yarn bands in a moment and share it. And this one, I am using a size 7 because my 8s are on my vest. I have the interchangeable needles from Clover, and so I'm using a 7, which actually the pattern calls for a 7, and I always just use 8s because that's what I had for the straight needles. Working so much better. Working so much better. It was a little weird at first to get used to, but it's working so much better. So I have it on a 16-inch cable. Now I'm thinking I should get another 16-inch cable so I can have coasters going at the same time, but we'll see. I mean, that's like a little much, but yeah. So there's that. Same dishcloth pattern. I do 2 at a time. It's just how I prefer it. The yarns get tangled sometimes and I have to take a moment to like untangle them, but it's not bad. So the holiday yarn is from Michaels. It is their Capri Eco Cotton, made from recycled cotton, loops and threads. It's the brand. You can see the light's like kind of glary weird there. It is actually, I thought this was 100% cotton. I think I said that before, but it's 85% recycled cotton, 15% polyester. So I think that's why it makes it a little softer. And the color is Holiday Multi. This one I can't remember, and I don't think I had the ball band anymore, but I have made another dishcloth, so if you're interested, you can look on my Ravelry page. It is from Hobby Lobby. It's not their I Love Cotton. It's another brand from them. And it is rough. Rougher. So, I want to now make dishcloths for, like washcloths for the bath. Why did I never think of that before? Thank you, Jen, for saying that, because why did I not ever think of that? So I usually don't talk about always like the plans that I want to do because sometimes it doesn't happen for a while, but I found, hold on, I think it's in here. I just printed out a bunch of patterns. Not all for dishcloths, but that's for a bib. Here it is. I want to make, come on. I found, oh no, what's her name? Oh, Elaine Fitzpatrick. I found her patterns on Ravelry. They're all free, and she has so many different bibs and washcloths. Does she call this a washcloth? Oh, just a cloth. Cheapy Chick cloth is what it's called. It's a black and white picture. But like, oh my goodness, how cute is that? So she uses a size 6 needle. So I just thought it was the cutest thing. And then of course, like you can make a, I mean it's a free pattern, but still, you can make a bib to match. Like, oh my goodness. So I am going to be making some of these. Oh, excuse me, hold on. I'm getting so excited, I'm choking up. I am going to use, this is a Just Cotton from the dollar store. It is 85% cotton, 15% polyester, so it's a little bit softer. I do want to go to Hobby Lobby and get some of their I Love Cotton yarn, but I just try not to buy yarn. I'm trying to use up what I have. So I think it's the polyester, just the I Love Cotton yarn. I did get some and dye it up. I wonder if that has polyester in it, or if it's 100% cotton. Now that I'm like pulling all these out, I feel like it's fuzzy. Because this is softer too, so I was gonna make one out of this color from Michaels. This is Violet Splash. This one, what does it have a colorway? Pansy. So we'll see. I haven't started yet. Sometimes I have too many things that I want to make and I just then don't actually accomplish anything, and I just get all these ideas in my head. So I printed out patterns. I still want to try and make, I don't think I mentioned this before, I want to try and make a baby bib, whether it be just a plain stockinette or a garter. I can't remember what the pattern called for, but it was still by her. I just get so many things and I only have 2 hands and so much time. So that's my predicament. But I thought, obviously, I'll make one for Liliana first, and then I'll make a couple maybe for the baby to use for my washcloths. Okay. Then I'll mention I am working on another snowman. I'll talk about this really quick. I do have all my snowman making yarn that's not organized at all, but it's in a box that I believe I got at the dollar store, and I thought it was appropriate. I'm making a sparkly snowman. So this is I can't remember if I made that or my niece made that, but it was made by one of us. And sparkly, yeah, the sparkles are not really coming through. Sparkly yarn, no idea what it is. It's leftover. You can't even know. Ah, better. So yeah, so I do have another snowman on the go. And like, so what I do is I keep my bags and my baskets and stuff just over here on the end of the couch, because we have like an L-shaped couch, and this side is open, doesn't have a back to it, so we really don't sit there, so it's perfect to hold all my knitting. Don't ask my husband, he might say it's not perfect to hold my knitting, it just does. Like I said, I flip back and forth between all these different projects. Like sometimes I'll feel like knitting a row on my snowman, and then I'll knit a row on a dishcloth, and then it's just how I operate. I think it was back in February that I only had 3 projects going. I had a pair of socks, which I wasn't working on except when I was leaving the house. I had my husband's blanket and my sweater that I was working on, and those were the only things that I had going. That was it. And like I said, the socks I only worked on when I left the house, and it wasn't even that often. So that was not a lot for me. All right, next thing, I'm making a baby hat. I am using the Maine baby hat pattern by Fiber of Maine. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I have made them before, and this is what I'm using. So these are size 4 DPNs, Clover brand. I used the Bernat Baby Sport Weight yarn, and this is Baby Yellow is the colorway, and this is Lavender. This is a newborn size. It's a little loose here, I feel like, so I'm going to wait and see what it is when I'm done, and then I might actually go down a needle size from what it suggests and just see how that turns out. I don't mind making hats of all different sizes. I like to just make them. I can have them on hand. I can use them for my daughter. I mean, we'll see. With a stitch marker, this one my niece definitely gave me. I always wonder that I'm not paying attention, or wonder what my face is like when I'm showing things like that, because I'm not looking at my face. I'm looking at trying to see if I can get the camera to focus. So that's that baby hat. I will have that Ravelry page linked below. I do the same thing. I'm doing the same thing with the baby hats that I'm doing with the coasters and the snowmen and the dishcloths. I'm just having an ongoing page. I'm not having a separate Ravelry page for every single baby hat. I just think that's a little too much. So that's that. I do love that pattern though, the Maine baby hat pattern by Fiber of Maine. I just want to go back to that for a minute because I kind of brushed over it. I love the pattern, not only because it's a free pattern, but because they go through fingering, sport, DK, worsted, and heavy worsted weight. And then they go newborn, baby, and toddler sizes all in one pattern. So I find that helpful. All right, what's next? I guess we'll do socks. So I have one pair, actually I have two pairs of socks going right now. I have a pair of shorty socks that I started on the 18th of August. Did I just, yep, hold on, pause. Not really, I'm not gonna pause the video. I just need to find the stitch marker that I just dropped because I just dropped a stitch off my needle. I'll show you the stitch marker not on the sock. This is a butterfly that I made. Kind of can see it. I was working on these this morning at our chiropractor appointment. And I think I just, in the hurry to put it away, didn't fully push the stitches on. Okay. So this is a pair of shorty socks that I've done. The cuff, I did 5 rounds of the cuff. I did 15 rounds of the leg to make a total of 20 before I started the heel, slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset. I am through the gusset. That's what this marker is for. And this is from Breaking Yarn. And then I'm working on the leg. No, I'm working on the foot. This yarn is, I had made Liliana a pair of birthday socks that she picked out this yarn for her 7th birthday back in February. It is from Hobby Lobby. It's Yarn Bee Authentic Hand Dyed Myriad Lights. Myriad Lights is the colorway. Please focus. Don't focus on my face. It's still blurry, guys. I don't know. But yeah, so I like working with this yarn. It's 100% superwash merino wool. Super fine. And I like it. So I'm making myself a shorty pair of socks with what's left over. If there's anything left over after that, I will be putting in my scrappy blanket. Now, the thing about this too, the shorty socks, is I'm also trying to figure out how many grams it takes for the shorty socks too. So I wrote it down in my notebook here. And there's a puppy walking down the street. He's cute. I've never seen him before. You know, like, I know a lot of the dogs around, but I don't know all the people. Like, sometimes there's a dog that will come in our yard, and the other day Liliana was like, there's a dog in our yard. I'm like, oh yeah, that dog lives over there. And she's like, oh. I'm like, I don't know the people that live there, I just know the dog does. And she was worried about the chickens, but I'm like, they also have chickens, so it's fine. So yeah, I wrote down, I started with 64 grams of this yarn, and I have made shorty socks before, and all of them, when I weighed the finished pair of socks, it was like 50, 40? I can't remember. But it seems like I'm going to have enough to do both socks with this. So usually when I knit shorty socks, because I'm playing yarn chicken, I knit like 2 at once and pull from the inside of the skein and then the outside of the skein. But I think I'm going to take my chances this time. I'm pretty sure that's going to be enough for the shorty socks. My husband's socks, where did I put those? I think they're on this side. They are. See, this is what I'm saying. I'll take a picture after. Okay, in my Vera Bradley bag. I use the same bags, so some of the stuff isn't even in a bag. My scrappy blanket is in a basket with all my scraps. The snowman was in that bucket basket thing from the dollar store. This is a Vera Bradley large cosmetic bag that I got years ago. Although, because I was going to say I actually don't wear use cosmetics anymore, but I do. I actually recently started putting on some eyeliner and some mascara just because I go through phases. Sometimes I wear makeup, sometimes I don't. Anyways, that is another side note. So my husband's socks I didn't show last time either because I hadn't worked on them. So I have done quite a bit. I actually think I was here the last time that I showed them a couple episodes ago. So I really had like nothing done. They're bright and I hope he likes them. If not, I will wear them. He wanted fun colors. So I think these are pretty fun colors if you ask me. So I have gotten through the gusset decreases. That's where my gusset decrease stopped, and I'm working on the foot. This is Brava Sport Weight yarn, so I'm using the K of the Crazy Sock Ladies vanilla sock pattern on DK weight, medium size, and I am doing as I change the stripe colors, I am knitting 3 stitches and then slipping the 4th stitch to get that just like texture there. And then I'm not doing that on the bottom of the foot, only on the top, just as a regular pattern sock would go. So this is the first sock. So I'm kind of hoping to work on this after I record so that I can get this one done and then maybe start the second one. Colorways, guys, I don't know. I lost the, I don't have the bands. I think they're somewhere, but I just don't have them here. I did in my Ravelry project page, I had 2 of the colorway names, so I put them in there, but did I write them down in my notes here? No, I didn't. But they are there if you're interested to go look. Because I had used the darker green, I think this is like I don't know, I can't even guess. And the light blue I used in another pair of socks for him. So I had those written down, the purple. Oh, maybe this was what I used my mittens for. The yarn I used for my mittens last year. So I actually might have that colorway name too. I should go look that up. So I'm learning to try and save the bands. So that's that. And then I have one more, my vest. I'm going to leave that right there though, actually, so that I can... Sorry, I think I just kicked the table and I'm trying to move. Okay. In the bag that he brought me back from Guatemala a couple of years ago now. Last year? No, the year before. Well, it doesn't matter. I am making the by Marley Bird My First Knit Summer Vest, I think is what it's called. Hang on. Okay. Not too many interruptions today. It's not too bad. I shouldn't. Yeah, I still have some things to talk about. So it is Marley Bird's My First Knit Summer Vest is the name of the pattern. She has amazing tutorials, and I really can't. I'm so grateful. I can't say how appreciative I am that she did that because they really do help a lot. I didn't put this on my longer cable with my cable extender today, but this is my vest. It's like curling a little bit.
I'm not sure I understand.
You're not supposed to understand. I don't need you to understand. Okay. So this is my vest. I love it. I think that the, like I said, I wasn't going to do these little wrapped pieces originally, but I'm so glad I decided to because it just adds a good texture, I feel like, to the vest. Like I said, it's really scrunchy because I didn't put it on my extenders and I just don't have them as, like they're somewhere over here, but you don't need to wait while I do that. I was actually here last time. I was all the way down here and I've done all this.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Why is my watch going crazy right now? Stop. I was all the way down here last episode. I did all that in a week? Wow. I did, I think it was 3 rows for 30 minutes of knitting the other morning. and I got 3 rows done in 30 minutes. So I believe I worked on this when we watched a movie that was like a couple hours long. So yeah, but I love it. I love it so much. I really like the colors. I think at first I wasn't sure. I mean, like, I loved the yarn. Why is the light changing? I'm going to move the marker as I talk. I just wasn't sure, you know, because it's different yarn than what she suggested, and I always tend to change things, and then sometimes it doesn't work out, but I'm loving it, and I think it's going to work out great. I'm hoping it's not too big, but we'll find out. I'll still wear it, even if it's a little big. I moved my marker. I'm going to check that off. This yarn is stuck. Okay. Chromatic Spectrum by Yarn Bee from Hobby Lobby. Color name is All Systems Indigo. And I love it. I'm going quicker with that because I've talked about it multiple times. But I just love it. I actually so I put it on a longer needle not that long ago and held it around me, and I do think it's going to be an okay size. I don't think it'll be too big. I don't think I would. I'm making the medium. I'm glad I'm not making the large like I intended, and I just think the small might have been too small in the arms. Like, I don't know. I want it to be roomy enough that I can wear a long sleeve. So, okay, those are all my whips. So now I've stopped the video a couple times, so I don't actually know how long I've been rambling, but if you were here just for knitting and fiber related things, then that concludes that. I'm going to talk a little bit about life, so if you want to stick around and listen to that, you're more than welcome, and I appreciate you. But also, if you were just here for the knitting, I get that too, and I appreciate you for being here and watching. Okay, so life stuff. I am 22 weeks and 5 days pregnant today. I still can't believe it. 22 weeks. It's crazy. I'm over halfway by like 2 weeks. It's crazy. So I started to organize a little bit of her room yesterday actually, looking through clothes that I have left over from Liliana. My sister gave me a bunch of clothes, so I pulled out the newborn clothes and then the 3-month clothes to put in a box in her closet so that they will be all just separated out and ready to go when I need them. I showed last time the room got painted, so now I just kind of need to get the rest of the stuff that's not going to stay in there out, and then bring the crib back up. We have the crib still down in the basement. We'll need a new mattress for it and stuff, but we still have like the crib pieces, so that's good. So that's where I'm at with that. I have more energy and feel better than I did in the beginning, but like I haven't really been wanting to eat all that much. I've been eating still, but I don't know. Cooking is not really great, which is why I'm excited to do Vlogtober and really start meal prepping, because I think that will give me the motivation of like, I'm sharing my meals, and I like to do things like that to give people ideas too, because sometimes I just need ideas for food. So I think that having that motivation of like recording it and holding me accountable will actually really help. I think it will. So I know that sounds maybe silly, but I do think that'll help. And then, let's see, books. So I was watching podcasts. Someone mentioned Twilight, and so I got from Libby from the library. Libby is the ebook app for the library. So I downloaded the audiobook of the first Twilight and listened to that. I also, I think it was Aquila of a Lefty Knitter podcast, was talking about the Hunger Games. She was actually talking about the prequel book to the Hunger Games. So I read the Hunger Games a while ago. I put that prequel book on, I think that's what it's called, on my hold list for the library, and then I watched the first Hunger Games yesterday. It was weird. It was in the afternoon. I was just like, I want to watch the first movie. So I did on Amazon Prime. It was free. So I watched that, and I downloaded the second book, and I'm listening to the second book. I read them before, so skipping the first book, it's like I know what happens. I think I own them all. Do I own them all, or am I missing one? I think I own them. So I'm going to listen to those. books, the 3 of them, and then hopefully by then maybe the other one will be available to borrow. I then also started a book, an audiobook on Audible called The Serpent and the Wings of Night. It is the first one in a series. It's actually only on Audible. I don't know if it's a physical book as well, but it's by Carissa Broadbent. And I meant to write these things down. I guess I don't really necessarily need to write down Twilight and the Hunger Games, but I will write that book down. It is not bad. It is not something that necessarily like caught me in and I like can't stop listening to it. But that also might be because I'm listening to a book that I've already read, so it's kind of like mindless of I don't have to focus too much on it because my brain kind of goes everywhere these days, and I think it's a pregnancy thing because since I found out I was pregnant, I've been re-listening to a lot of different books. And I think it's just because my brain already knows what's going to happen, so I want to be listening to something. And they're really good books, so yeah. Anyways, let's see. I'll put a bump picture. I don't know if anyone's interested actually in my bump pictures, but it'll be cool if I ever want to look back. Then, if you've been here for a while and watched my life update things, I am trying to walk now 500 miles this year. I don't know my full count, but I decided that I think what I'm going to do is just put at the end of the month, like the totals that I have for the month, and then do the official thing. But I did look at it today, and for August, I've walked a total of 11 miles. It's been hot still. Yesterday was actually gorgeous. We walked 1.5 miles, I think, yesterday. But so far for August, I've walked 11 miles, and then so far for August, we're trying for 1,000 hours outside. Liliana is definitely going to make it there. I'm like almost 100% certain. She already has 77 hours for August so far. I have 33. So there's that. Hold on. So I think that is it. I don't think I've forgotten anything. And if I have, I'll just mention it next time. I make myself notes throughout, like, the week. Lately it's been, like, every Wednesday I've been recording, so it's been a week. So I make myself notes throughout the week, just so I can try and remember things I want to mention and look at, and I think that was it. So, like I said, I have been doing a lot of knitting. I have had a lot of knitting time. I feel like we had such a busy July that I kind of wanted to not do as much for August, even though we've still been pretty busy, but it still allows me a lot of knitting time. So, and that's been really helping me when I just don't feel like doing much of anything else. Like I said, I still obviously doing life stuff like laundry and dishes and cooking some. But other than that, not doing as much. I'm hoping to start to walk more as the weather gets nicer and it's not quite so hot. But yeah, so that's that. So if you have stuck with me till the end, thank you so much. I really do appreciate everyone that is here, all my new subscribers, all the people who are returning watchers. I just appreciate everyone, and I love comments and everyone, you know, commenting on my videos, and I just love it. I love it. So I think that is it, and I will chat with everyone next time.